Name of the lesson is control and coordination. In human being, activities are controlled and coordinated by two systems: human nervous system and endocrine system. Endocrine system carries out coordination, which is made up of endocrine glands producing hormones that will be discussed later on in the lesson. Controlling is carried out by nervous system. Human nervous system has three parts: CNS, PNS and ANS. CNS stands for central nervous system, PNS is peripheral nervous system and ANS is autonomous nervous system. Central nervous system comprises brain and spinal cord. Protection of brain. Brain is protected by three means. One is cranium, second one is meninges, and the third one is cerebrospinal fluid. Cranium is a bony box in which brain is lodged. Meninges are the membranes that covers the brain. Meninges are three. The outermost meninges is called as dura mater. Meninx is singular for meninges. It is outermost meninx, tough, fibrous and non-vascular, lining the inner side of cranium. It forms a lining on inner side of cranium. Arachnoid matter. It is a middle, thin, non-vascular meninx having web-like appearance. Pia mater. It is the innermost highly vascularized meninx. Highly vascularized means which is well furnished with blood capillaries, which lies in close contact with the brain. Dura mater is a lining, forms the lining of cranium, while pia mater is in contact with the brain. The space between dura mater and arachnoid matter is called subdural space, which is filled with the serous fluid. The space between arachnoid and pia mater is called subarachnoid space, which is filled with CSF. What is CSF? CSF is cerebrospinal fluid. It is an alkaline, lymph-like watery fluid present in ventricles of brain as well as in central canal of spinal cord. Human CNS has 120 ml of CSF. CSF acts as a shock absorber and protects brain from mechanical injuries. CSF also maintains constant pressure inside the cranium and regulates temperature. CSF also helps in exchange of nutrients and waste materials between brain tissues and blood. It supplies oxygen to brain. CSF protects brain from desiccation. Desiccation means drying up. CSF is secreted by choroid plexus and ependymal cells. What are choroid plexus and ependymal cells will be discussed in detail in coming units of lesson. Parts of brain. A chart is given here. Go through the chart so that you will get an idea about the parts of brain, which will be discussed in detail in from the next slide onwards. Human brain shows three main parts: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Of which forebrain shows olfactory lobes, cerebrum and diencephalon are the three main regions of forebrain. Olfactory lobes are concerned with the sense of smell. Olfactory lobes, they are in pair. Each olfactory lobe has an olfactory peduncle and an olfactory bulb. Sense of smell is the main function of olfactory lobes. Olfactory lobes are highly reduced in human brain. Then cerebrum. Cerebrum, it is a largest part of brain. It is a part of forebrain and it makes up around 85% of total brain capacity. It is divided into right and left cerebral hemispheres by a deep median longitudinal fissure. In the middle portion, there is a vertical cut with which cerebrum is divided into right and left hemispheres. Even though it is divided into right and left hemispheres, which are visible from outside, internally these two hemispheres are connected by transverse bands of nerve fibers called corpus callosum, a very important structure. Corpus callosum is transverse bands of nerve fibers that connects two cerebral hemispheres. The outer part of cerebrum is called cortex, which is made up of gray matter, while the inner part is called medulla, which is made up of white matter. Outer is cortex and inner is medulla. The surface of cerebrum is highly folded into many convolutions, which are also called as gyri, and grooves called sulci. Means it is highly convoluted with the gyri and sulci. Each cerebral hemisphere is divided into four main lobes due to three main sulci. There are three main sulci that divide cerebrum into four main lobes. They are frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and occipital lobes. The first sulci is central sulcus, demarcates frontal lobe from parietal lobe. Second one is parieto-occipital sulcus, separates parietal lobe from occipital lobe. And the third one is the lateral sulcus. Lateral sulcus demarcates the temporal lobe from parietal lobe and temporal lobe from frontal and parietal lobes. That is, lateral sulcus demarcates the temporal lobe from frontal and parietal lobes. One can see the diagram here, which is four lobes of the cerebrum are given. One is frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, and temporal lobe. And these four lobes are due to three sulci: central sulcus, then parieto-occipital sulcus, lateral sulcus. Lateral sulcus is also called as Sylvian sulcus. Now, since these sulci are incomplete, the lobes are not, since these sulci are incomplete, the lobes are not clearly demarcated from each other. Due to this, a fifth median lobe called insula or insular cortex is folded deep within the lateral sulcus. There is a fifth median lobe called insula or insular cortex. One can see that. There is frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, and temporal lobe. Then those four lobes are due to three sulci, deep sulci. And these deep sulci are incomplete, so that a fifth lobe gets demarcated. That fifth lobe is called insular lobe, or it is also called as insular cortex. Okay, functions of cerebrum. Cerebrum, the frontal lobe, shows a precentral gyri. Precentral gyri means the gyri which is before the central sulcus. Precentral gyri is for general motor functions, general voluntary activities. There is a Broca's area which is called motor speech area, which translates thoughts into speech. And it also shows an association area which deals with the memory, thinking, learning, judgment, problem solving, skill. All those are controlled by the association area. Then postcentral gyri. Postcentral gyri is present in the parietal lobe. Postcentral gyri means the gyri which is after the central sulcus. Postcentral gyri shows general sensory functions. It also controls touch, temperature, pressure, and pain. It has a sensory speech area called as Wernicke's area. Broca's area is present in the frontal lobe, while Vernix area is present in the parietal lobe. Temporal lobe is concerned with the sense of smell, hearing and taste. And occipital lobe has a visual area. These are the functions of general summary of functions of cerebrum. That means the functions of cerebrum is actually the functions of the lobes of cerebrum, like frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe and the occipital lobe. Occipital lobe has a visual area. Cerebrum has all three types of areas such as sensory, motor and association areas. Then basal nuclei of cerebrum. These are grey masses present within the white matter. As we discussed, the outer part of cerebrum is grey matter while the inner part is called white matter. Inner part is white matter. Within the white matter, there are some grey masses. Within the white matter, there are grey masses called as basal nuclei. They receive neurotransmitters from various parts. These nuclei help the cortex in execution activities at the subconscious level, such as slow writing, rapid typing, etc. are controlled by the basal nuclei of the cerebrum. Then other part is corpus striatum, is the largest basal nucleus at the floor of cerebrum. Largest basal nucleus at the floor of cerebrum. One can see in the diagram, that is basal ganglia and related structures of the brain. Basal ganglia is labeled globus pallidus, thalamus, substantia nigra and cerebellum. All these are nigra. The basal ganglia is labeled here in the diagram. Okay, these are the main features which you have to remember in the cerebral part of the brain. Structure as well as function of cerebrum is a very important part of the lesson. Thank you.